for joining us. I'm Juan, lead trader and founder of Prosperitrade. In this video, we're going to discuss a couple of swing trade alerts or swing trade ideas and my thesis for those swing trades. But before we begin, please review our disclaimer. Prosperitrade, we're not registered as investment advisors. Please do your own due diligence before investing in any stock. A brief definition of the difference between a swing trade and an investment due diligence and day trade. Day trade, you're purchasing a stock based off of a catalyst, based off momentum, some sort of pattern formation, and you're getting in and out same day within minutes, seconds. It's a quick trade, and people use float, usually low float stocks that have bigger movements, more potential, more volatility. That would be a day trade. Investing is the stocks that we discuss. We do our due diligence. We have faith in the companies. We're buying and holding. And swing trade, there's some technical analysis. Sometimes, certain stocks are hitting support points that have history of every time they hit those support points, they reverse. And over the next few days or weeks, they start to make higher highs or just move up in price action or move down. So swing traders sometimes use some of that technical analysis to take advantage of that movement, or a possible strong catalyst, buying the rumor and selling the news. For both of my thesis, I have a little bit of both. I have first ticker BLRX, and BLRX doesn't have a great history. Their fundamentals aren't the best, but they do have a couple of upcoming catalysts that if they do achieve their endpoints on some of their goals, it will cause the stock to spike. So BioLine RX, they're a late stage biopharmaceutical company focused on oncology. So they've been around for quite a bit, and historically they have not done well. They've had big spikes, built big sell-offs, and we'll look at the chart in a little bit. But what I'm looking for is their BL8040 phase 3 and hexafortide medication or treatment. So basically what their BL8040, what they're waiting for approval and endpoints, what it does for cancer patients, it's an antagonist for a receptor of CXCR4, and basically what it means, saying that it's an antagonist, that it blocks whatever that receptor does. So with the BL8040, there's more immunal cells, which is basically something that's really important for cancer patients. Immune cells, they develop from the stem cells in the bone marrow, and they become different types of white cells, which is really important for cancer patients, especially when they start to lose white blood cells and they become more prone to infections. So this medication would be an antagonist for that receptor, and it would allow for stem cell mobilization and just better treatment for cancer patients, especially for pancreatic cancer patients, patients with AML. So it'll be a strong catalyst if it's something that they reach and meet their endpoints in. They've had some positive news so far, and they feel optimistic. They've had improvement in some of their recent studies. So there's some optimism of them being able to meet their endpoints. And that's why I'm taking a position for a swing trade. So if you see here, this is kind of what they have going down the pipeline, being able to treat AML, they're at phase 2, pancreatic cancer, solid tumors, and stem cell mobilization. And this is the one that they're waiting for regulatory approval. And they're stating that it should be any time in the second quarter of this year. So basically now, or within the next 3 months, they can announce the results and announce if they met the endpoints or if they didn't meet the endpoints. So if you look here on their website, they talk about some of the other phases that they completed, and this is where they're currently at, the phase 3 for the stem cell mobilization. If you look on tip ranks, there's quite a bit of optimism. A lot of analysts giving high ratings. Lowest is 5, but it goes as high as 19, 10. And I've seen on other sites, Alpha, one of the writers, one of the analysts, gave it a 265% possible upside at $9 or $8.75 within the next year or two. So there is a lot of people that think this stock has good amount of potential, especially with any medication that's going to help treat pancreatic cancer, which is one of the most deadliest cancers at this moment. So I came across this company on this website. It basically goes over FDA approval, FDA pending approval. It's a FDA calendar. They have a premium service. So I use that, and I found any company that's dealing with cancer is always going to be an interest to me, just because I know that it's a strong catalyst anytime they reach a phase or an endpoint. Okay, so what are the risks, and why am I making this a swing trade and not a long-term trade? Well, it's a swing trade for me because if you go back 2019 and further than that, you see they have these big spikes, then these big sell-offs. Big spikes out here in 2012 when they first started, all the way to 93, then all the way to 37, all the way to 103, then 33, big spikes, big drop here. I think this is when they failed to meet an endpoint or a phase 2, and it caused it to crash. So you have to really invest an amount that you're comfortable losing with. So for me, I took about 880 share position. And it's currently down 8%. So that's my comfort level. And for me, I've just noted out some strong support lines, and it's currently testing one of the strong supports here. It's below some of the moving averages. If it breaks below 257, then the next strong possible support is 218. So for me, that's my risk. Anything below 218, I'm going to reevaluate it and see if I want to just take a small loss. So a good way to keep tabs of this, especially using Webull, you can set alerts, and I have 2 alerts set. One if it drops below 250, and another if it's above actually 325. And right on the same page of the stock here, I'll show you here. They have an alert tab, and you can ask for an alert when it goes above a certain price or when it goes below a certain price. So I have it set for both, because if it breaks a certain price, then possibly there's hype coming in, there's news. So I want to be able to sell it as it's spiking up and everybody else is buying, selling it then, and take my profit. But if the endpoints are bad and it meets they don't meet their endpoints, then I want to go ahead and take the loss, because this thing will come crashing down. Next company, for this is more of a technical analysis play, and this is for NIO. NIO's been doing quite well over the last couple of years. They've increased their cash. Their revenue has increased from 1 billion to 2 billion. So they're moving in the right direction fundamentally. They have a strong target price of 38 to 62 and as high as 81. So there's a lot of optimism in NIO. And as the market's been correcting, as the market's been pulling back, and this big fear with China, with a few other stocks that have dropped because of China relations, This stock has dropped quite a bit. So there's a few ways you can approach this stock. You can just buy some shares. Possibly, for me, my risk would be anything below $32. I'm going to keep a tight stop. I don't want to see if it's going to test all the way down and drop this much here. So $32 is my risk tolerance. You can buy a call and set the strike price, let's say at $40 for June 18th, 2021, and that might mitigate some of the risk. And if you're extremely worried about the market condition just because of the way it is right now, and the market's been moving up lately and it's possibly due for a pullback, you can do kind of like a bull put spread and basically sell a 30 put and buy a $28 put, which would cost you about 40 cents and expire May 21st. And that would give you a good odds of success. It would definitely kind of hedge your position. So I like NIO as a company just because they've had some solid growth over the last year, like I showed you with their financials. They've also received some help from the Chinese government. And if you look in the past, and this is the technical analysis of it, you see it's dropped here, bounced, dropped, bounce. So the goal is to get another drop. It dropped here and sell as it bounces back up. So here it dropped from 34, bounced all the way back up, bounced off of that and went all the way up to 46, dropped here, tested this 1-2 times, this area here, then went as high as 42. So it's testing it again, and if it's able to hold support, then you sell. If it goes up to the 40s, you just take your profit. And if it doesn't hold support here and it starts to drop, just take a small loss, which would be the best plan of action. So that's it for my 2 swing trades. Keep a tight stop on the NIO, BLRX. Watch for the news. If they reach their endpoints, then as the stock spikes up, maybe $4 or $5, start taking profit. And if they don't reach endpoints, if there's any negative news about the endpoints, if there's any delay, I would just get out. This company does not have a great history, so you have to kind of be mindful of that. And thank you for joining us. Hit subscribe, hit the like, and appreciate you. Thank you.